Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 3 of U.S. history. This is the second to last week of this shortened 4-week summer term. And so we have a lot of content to get through. You may have already logged into Canvas this Monday morning and then woke up several moments later because you passed out when you saw how much is loaded into this week's module. But I want to put your minds at ease and walk you through this module, kind of explain what we need to accomplish this week and why. Let's start with the why. Normally, in a full-term course, this class is taught over 18 weeks. Right? So we have a lot of chapters and a lot of content to get through, and we do that over 18 weeks. Well, in this summer term, we only have 4 weeks, so it's 1/4 the time. And that means that we need to pack a lot more information into each week. Now, we kind of eased into the first 2 weeks because that gives you a chance to get your bearings in this course and understand how it works and understand what you need to accomplish each week and how you need to go about doing that. And really in this week now, we're just taking what we've learned as far as the coursework goes, and we're just amplifying it a bit. We're covering a little more ground here. Now it looks like a lot more ground because you're logging in and you're seeing 6 chapters, right? Chapter 21, 23, 24, 27, 28, and 29, and that just seems like a ton. You're like, that's 4 chapters more than what we covered last week. But really, it's not that daunting. So I'll explain. I've gone through and I've shortened each one of these note-taking guides down to about 5 questions on average. Now, in total, in all of these note-taking guides, there are 33 questions that you need to answer. And I'm not asking you to read every chapter word for word. In fact, I'm asking you not to read every chapter word for word. How often do you hear that, right? There's just not enough time. So even though we're looking into 6 chapters, we're going in with specific intent or specific missions to find certain information that revolves around a few key themes in American history that I want you to focus on this week. So even though you're seeing 6 note-taking guides, look at this. Here's chapter 21. I've cut it down to just 5 questions. All right? And if you look at the other note-taking guides, you'll see that it's very similar. So again, 33 questions in total. Not overwhelming. If you think back to week 1, your note-taking guides covered 20 questions, or 21 questions actually. In week 2, 20 questions. So really, this is just like adding a third chapter in compared to what you're used to, right? It's just 12 or 13 more questions. So don't read the full chapters. Get into the note-taking guide, open up that chapter, and skim through and find the sections that specifically talk about the information or the concepts that I'm asking you to look for in these note-taking guides. You know, when you log in, it's great to start with this Welcome to Week 3 page because this is going to kind of walk you through, again, what I'm asking you to accomplish this week. Because there's so much information in U.S. history, we're going to actually focus down on 3 themes. The birth of the progressive movement, right, which was this movement to expand and protect democracy and individual liberty for all Americans. We're going to look at the African American experience all the way up through the civil rights movement, and we're going to look at the experience of women through the first 68 years or so of the 1900s. Because progressivism, racial equality, and gender equality are 3 issues that you will hear a lot about in your lifetime and even today if you turn on the news, right? So these are the areas that we're going to pinpoint and focus in on. So that's why I've really limited or cut down your note-taking guides to focus on questions that hit on these particular themes of American history. All right, so again, don't read all of the chapters word for word. Skim through, look at the section titles, the headings, and find the areas that are speaking to the information you need to successfully complete the 33 questions in all of these note-taking guides. All right. The other thing that hopefully will put your minds at ease is that you can work together. You can collaborate. In fact, I encourage it. It'll help you get through it a lot quicker. All right, so if you have someone that you can work with virtually or even someone you can work with in person, get together, open up the note-taking guides, open up the textbook chapter, and just start knocking it out. Look for the information together, talk about it, figure out how you need to answer these questions in detail, and then complete the guides. All right. Now, what about the quizzes? Yes, we have a quiz on each one of these chapters, but again, just like the note-taking guides, I've simplified them to just focusing on those themes that I'm asking you to look for in these 6 chapters. So every question you encounter on these quizzes is going to come right out of the notes that you pull on these note-taking guides. So if you do these note-taking guides, the right way and in detail, and even make little page number notations, you're going to easily be able to complete these open book, open notes quizzes when you get to them by the end of this week. The other thing about these quizzes is they're very short, again, because I've cut them down. So some of these quizzes only have 2 questions. Some have 3, some have 4. The most questions you'll find on any one of these quizzes is 5 questions. All right, you also get 2 attempts at each quiz. So if you take a quiz and for some reason you don't succeed on it, regroup, get your notes together, go back into your note-taking guides and fill out anything more that you need, and then retake it. And it'll automatically keep your highest score. All right, so I'll create a second video that kind of talks about what we want to accomplish by next week in this research assignment. Don't worry about that right now. We'll kind of tackle that toward the end of this week. Right now, your focus is to work on the 33 questions out of these 6 chapters. Again, just diving into each chapter, finding that information, and getting out and going to the next chapter. All right. Once you get through that, take those quizzes, do well on those. I'm sure you will. And then we'll look at the research assignment later this week. All right. That's the way I ask you to approach it. I think you'll find it's much easier and much more doable than it looks at first. When it comes to these lectures, these are optional viewing. My goal for you is to, again, source out this information from the textbook chapters. These lectures might help you understand that information in a better context, but each of these lectures are going to be an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 40. And honestly, right now, that's time that's already going to compete with everything else that you have on your plate, right? So watch these if you have a chance or when you get a chance, but mostly get together with a peer or a couple of peers and start working on these note-taking guides so that you can get to these quizzes by the end of the week. Now, if at any point in the middle of the week you're feeling like you're running behind or you're struggling, you're finding some challenges or stumbling blocks, just email me. Let me know. Let me know what exactly is causing a challenge for you so that I can respond and help you. I'm going to make sure that you succeed. All right, I promise you. That's why I've tried to simplify this information down for you, even though we're covering a lot of ground this week. All right, but I'm here for you. If you have questions or you feel like you're running behind by the middle of the week, just email me and let me know, and we'll work together to make sure that you succeed on this week's work. All right. Again, I'll send out another video that's going to be covering the research assignment. Don't overwhelm yourself with that right now. We'll tackle that more toward the end of the week and into the start of next week. But this week, hopefully now you feel a little bit better about the work that we need to get done, and you feel a little bit more empowered and capable of knocking it out. All right, if you have any questions, again, let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful week, and look for another video from me soon.